Hello, guys. It's been a minute. Welcome back to the White Noise Podcast. This is me, Tyler. This is my brother, Zach.
Hello.
A lot of you who are going to watch this episode already know that. But just in case, that is who we are. Look, we did this before. I want to say it was November of 2024, I think, because it's been over a year.
That's almost 2 years ago.
Yeah. So we failed. Let's just say that. I said that in my TikTok video promoting this. We unfortunately failed. We had a lot going on, and we just ended up moving on from it for a little bit. But we're going to give it another go, and we are going to try our best to stay consistent and put some podcasts out there and actually make this into something. And just, if anything, it's going to be fun just hanging out with my brother, doing this with him. And yeah, we hope to entertain you guys and so on and so forth. So, yeah, where do you want to start, Zach?
I feel like some updates are cool. I think one important update since the dawn of the podcast is back in the day, Tyler's TikTok was... So it's the saga of Tyler's TikTok, and kind of some of you might be watching from Tyler's TikTok because he's promoted it on there. Back in the day, my brother, this isn't new news, but he currently and formerly works on the farm. And you kind of blew up with that cow video.
I have a video on my TikTok. It's pinned on the top page. It's only the one on my page that's got 1 million views, but it took off, and it was a lot of fun having that interaction. I mean, I had people from Canada, Denmark, Germany, Australia, New Zealand, all over Finland, just all over the place, talking to me, thinking it was cool. There was a lot of, positive reaction from it, and I thought that was really cool. If you want to check it out, it's TWhite247 on TikTok, if you haven't seen that, if you don't know that already. And it's right on the top page. It's a funny cow moment. She's happy as all hell, running back and forth.
That's my dog, Poppy. You might hear her a couple times.
Running back and forth down the alleyway, and she was just really happy about the betting, and it was just a cool video, and I'm glad I was able to get it. And a lot of people thought it was pretty cool too. So,
well, what's funny about it though is originally you had lost that TikTok account.
I did, yeah. I had somebody hacked it and wanted me to, and yeah, just hacked it. And I couldn't get into it, and it took a long time.
I think that happened over the course of us uploading these videos.
Yes, it did. I didn't have it during this last time. No, I didn't. I had to start a new one. I was really upset. And it wasn't getting the attention, the other one was getting. And all of a sudden, I had my TikTok profile on a different phone, and it was an old phone that I only used on internet. And I never changed it. I just kept it on there. It was like, I don't want to go on TikTok while I'm at work and stuff and doing my own thing, so I'll just leave it on that. Well, I broke that phone, dropped it, busted the screen, couldn't use it anymore. So I was like, well, dang, now I've got to figure out a way to get my TikTok back. So I did. I ended up getting it. It took me a minute to mess with passwords because I don't remember passwords at all.
Yeah.
And so what happened was I logged in through my Facebook, and it brought me back to that old one. And now I'm using it again, and it's actually getting a lot of attention, and it's been kind of fun putting stuff out there. And I've met a lot of new people, a lot of good people, and it's just been, not necessarily meet them, but I've, talking to them on there and getting to know them. It's been fun.
Yeah, it's a cool app. I mean, it had its little drama in the in the world.
Almost banned once.
But it's so funny. That part is interesting. But just speaking back to you and your story, it's so funny because we live in small town America, as small town America gets. And it's kind of funny to then see like a niche population be able to witness small town America.
Yeah, actually, funny thing is that I've had someone kind of say that to me, similar thing to what you said there. Right now, Egypt is watching that video. Somebody reposted it from Egypt. and I have a lot of people from Egypt liking that 1 million video, and that's like a 2+ year old video at this point. So to have people still reposting that and watching that video now is also pretty cool.
Well, that's a cool thing about TikTok too, and the internet, and it's a positive and a negative because things never die on the internet, which is maybe important for us to remember.
In some cases, yeah. There's this guy, Tober Williams. Anybody heard of him?
No.
Have you?
No.
Well, anyway, he's funny. He goes on. He's like a comedian, and he goes on Facebook, TikTok, whatever, Instagram, and people send him like clippets of people just saying things online that just shouldn't be shared. Some of it's like, wow. I mean, it's just disgusting. I think he's hilarious because of the way he goes about portraying it.
Yeah.
On there, I think it's funny, so I watch his stuff. But there are some things that people put out on in social media that just make you cringe.
Do you think that the way, I mean, neither you nor I are old, and I'm not claiming to be, and back in my day and being one of those people, but do you think the way in which we grew up and the childhood we had, that way of life is like gone? Because I was born in 98, so I feel like I have this unique position where I wasn't devoid of technology. I kind of grew up with technology, but as a kid, like,
yeah.
When did the first iPhone come out?
Oh goodness, I might have been in high school.
So I grew up flip
2009
phones.
to 12.
Remember the Droid Incredible? That was my first smartphone.
Yeah, that was I think my first touchscreen phone I had when I graduated high school. It was 2012.
Yeah, because it was like flip keyboards were the thing, like Blackberries.
That's what I had.
Remember Mom? Do you remember Mom's pink Razor? That phone was cool.
Yeah, the Razors. Those were the big thing back in the like mid 2000s. Yeah, man. It's kind of I can't tell you when iPhone was built. It was probably I want to say 2010.
But regardless,
maybe.
like you especially, but I even grew up without that level of technology being a part of our everyday life. I almost think, and I've had this conversation with people before too, I don't blame anyone. Like, if I'm a parent growing up right now, it's hard to not have, the opportunity to have a tablet around and to have your young one, be exposed to that, because one, they're going to be at some point. So it's almost better if at the age of, at a young age, they're going to have their friends surrounding them that have access to the internet, have access to tablets. So how do you balance making sure your child has that level of information, but also let your kid be a kid? Because we're the same kids that you were when we were kids. Like, fundamentally, in terms of how we develop, we're all kids. So I don't know. I just don't know if like going outside and playing with sticks and throwing shit at you is what other kids are going to be experiencing.
No, I mean it really depends on the parenting in that regard. I think in this day and age, I think you kind of have to push your child at this point. It's a little different because we just were built into that. But I think in some cases you just kind of have to push them to be active and do that kind of thing, and not be so drowned in all the technology and tablets and games that we have available to us now. It's just, I think it takes the parents to kind of, and obviously you don't know how the kid's going to act and all this stuff. It depends on behavioral things. But
I haven't seen it, but I think this is literally the premise of the new Toy Story movie, Toy Story 5.
Oh, okay.
Because it's with a lily pad. Haven't seen it. If you've seen it, leave a comment.
I've seen Toy Story 5 is coming out, but I have not looked into it.
Yeah, it's been out for a little bit. I think it was well received.
Huh. I loved Toy Story growing up. That was one of my favorite movies growing up. That, and I think Lion King. I like the Lion King.
Did you see what they've done to Woody in this movie? So it's funny. So he is old. So they have him.
Gray hair.
They have him balding. But it's like, so it actually makes sense. If you use a toy a lot, though, like if you remember our WWE action figures growing up?
Yes.
Imagine if you used them all the time, the color on the top of their head's going to start to wear away. So him balding is like that.
Okay. Okay, that makes more sense.
Apparently, there was a scene where they made him fat too. I don't know how that works, but
Stuffing in his kid just stuffed down.
he's
with his
plastic.
I thought he was like stuffed. Excuse me, I got to do this with the mic.
Is he?
I thought, I had a toy Woody, and he was not plastic. He was stuffed. His hands.
Well, Tyler, the toy you had wasn't the one that starred in the movie. Okay.
That's just how I looked at it.
I'm kind of on a childhood kick right now. When you think of your childhood, what are some like immediate memories that pop in for you? And I'm talking like young Tyler.
Probably, we brought this up in one of our other podcasts, playing sports and stuff with you and Michaela outside, and going on our long walks with four-wheeler rides with Dad and our adventures Dad took us on. Like, our father would randomly wake us up sometime. And I, back in the day, he didn't really understand it, but looking back at it now, I appreciate the fact that he'd do this. He wouldn't do it to us all the time, but there were some days that he'd be up early, and the sun hadn't barely came up, and he'd take Michaela, Zachary, and I, and we'd just go on a long walk to watch the sunrise out in the woods, because we just had so much places to just wander out there and explore. And I will always look back at that and go, man, that was... I might not like being woken up that early in the morning, but I will always appreciate Dad doing that for us, because that was so much fun.
Yeah, those are good ones. Bye, honey. We're in the middle of a podcast. Oh, we're going to take a brief intermission.
This is a commercial break.
All right, welcome back.
Howdy. Sorry about that.
Brief intermission. So we're talking about childhoods. I don't know where we left off with it specifically.
But I think we was talking about how Dad took us out, adventuring out in the woods and like early in the morning, watch the sunrise and so on and so forth, and just showed us stuff of he used to do. He grew up there in Exeter, so it was always cool. It was always fun doing that stuff.
Yeah. I guess for me, when I think about childhood, this is the fun part about being the youngest sibling, because I get to share the horror stories of the older siblings. I don't know what we talked about in the first two podcasts, but I have so many Tyler and Michaela stories that I can share from the younger brother's perspective.
I listened to our first one we did, and you were bringing up about how we would just pretty much beat the crap out of you all the time and just went against you with everything. You were always the one that had to be against Michaela and I and everything.
Somewhere,
I think it turned you out to be a pretty good athlete.
It did. Somewhere that Mom has a video of you and Michaela playing football against me. And I would have probably lost if it was any shape or form. If it was Michaela and I against you, I would have still lost. So it was just me.
I don't know, maybe not. Maybe back then, maybe.
I was like 6. It wasn't. Do you remember when we were little and we decided kids make stupid decisions? As I think part of my whole line of thinking with this is the decisions kids make are dumb.
Well, we don't know any better.
Do you remember when we thought walking to the Stetson store would be a quick journey?
Yeah, I think we thought it'd take like 30 minutes.
This is kind of doxing where we grew up, I guess, but...
Yeah, I mean, we thought it'd take us like 30 minutes to get there, and it's a couple miles away. No, it took us like 3 hours, if not longer than that.
And we just went for like ice cream sandwiches. We get there, we're like, please give me water.
Because it was in the middle of summer or something. It was hot. It was just not a good idea. I don't know why we thought it was going to take us 30 minutes. Like I said, we were kids. We didn't know any better.
There were so many opportunities for us to just turn around, and we didn't turn around.
We were determined. We were dedicated. I do very much remember that.
We
took many breaks, too, which I think is why it took us about 3 hours.
I would follow your lead on anything that Tyler and Michaela said. No, mostly Tyler. Michaela I'd fight with, but anything you guys say, I would just go along with. There was this time, I don't know if I told this one before, but we had this so where we grew up was in the middle of nowhere and had cornfields, potato fields all around it. And there used to be this old grain barn that went, you know where I'm going to go with this, that went away, and it was no longer used for that purpose, but they put hay in there. And for those that don't know what hay is, we can get into that another.
Hope you know what hay is.
But maybe you don't. So they had hay, and it was not super, super high, but for little kids, it was pretty decently high. And Tyler told me if you climb to the top and jump to the bottom, it'll be like jumping into a pillow. So I climbed my ass all the way to the top. I had on these muck boots that came up just below my knee, and that part of the story matters. I jump from the friggin' top of these hay bales. I land directly on a rock. I go through all the hay, and there's a rock lodged in my knee, just sticking out. Tyler takes off. Tyler's headed home. Home was right up the road, like it was. You could see the house, but I'm walking back. I've got a rock sticking out of my knee. I got boots that are way too big for me. Oh, crying. Like, I still have that scar to this day.
Do you really?
Yeah, it's faded a lot over time, but I can still see it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that. You had, like, big green muck boots on that did go right up past your knees.
Not past, just two, because they would have protected me from the friggin' rock.
Yeah, sorry about that. I think I just kind of thought it'd be funny.
I'm sure it was.
But I felt like a dickhead after that because like, I'm about to get in trouble for making him do that.
I feel like most of the.
Rightly so.
I will say though, and I think this is something I've mentioned before. If I haven't, and if I have, I want to mention it again. Poppy's so upset outside the door. By the way, I'm sorry if you hear her. You guys included me in everything.
Of course, I love spending time with you guys, man, and I love the relationship that we've had. I really am thankful how close we've always been. I really am.
Yeah, I mean, we've always had that type of relationship as siblings, and Michaela's kind of been all over the place, and to have a part of her be back in the state of Maine now, it's been...
Yeah, that's a big thing. That's new. Another new news is our sister is back home in Maine, and her and her husband Nick have got a house down in Georgetown. It's a beautiful place, and we're extremely happy to have them around here again, and very proud of her too.
Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. But yeah, we were blessed with our childhood that we had, and I think it's always interesting to kind of go back down memory lane, especially for stories like this, because I think a lot of people can relate to the craziness of their lives and things that they might have had growing up.
Yep.
So it's pretty fun.
So we're going to kind of get into some other stuff now. I'm going to start with a story I come across. I'd like to bring up a funny type of story, news story I see online that I make sure is legitimate and all that before I come over here and say it. That just is something to do every time we do this. So not long ago, because I try to make sure it's recent. It's not something that's old. It's recent. And then the last couple of days, apparently in India, a pigeon was put under arrest. You heard me right? A pigeon was arrested. Well, it had been causing some suspicion, okay, because it had been going past the border, and you'll understand why they were, decided to arrest this pigeon. So they put the pigeon in custody, okay? It had been flying back and forth through the border, and it was caught. They thought it was a spy. That's what Indian police, is what it said, thought it was a spy. So they were like, we need to put this pigeon in custody. And so they arrested the pigeon, and that pigeon had a tag on it. And that was why it had the suspicion, apparently, because they had a tag. Well, all the tag was a phone number for the owner. So the police called the number, and they were like, yeah, it's my pigeon. It's been pigeons happen to fly, past places and such, and they might do it often because they're a pretty routine bird. And so they let that pigeon go. But apparently the reason, in 2016, a pigeon had a note in this same place that was a threat towards a prime minister. So they arrested that pigeon. That pigeon was arrested.
Pigeon's rude.
I didn't know there was such a thing to arrest
a terrorist pigeon.
Yeah, or just arrest a pigeon. Like, how do you do that? Put your wings up. What do you do? How does that work?
Have you ever heard that pigeons aren't real?
I don't know. Trust me, they're real. I promise you. I don't know why.
I don't know. The conspiracy theorists out there say that pigeons were made by the CIA. You ever seen a baby pigeon?
Yeah. Look, there's a lot of pigeons at the Corona farm. Okay, I mean,
there's a lot of spies.
200 of them. What are they spying on at the Corona farm? What we're making?
Maybe you. Maybe you.
I don't know, but I don't. You see a lot of pigeon eggs around, so I don't.
Do you ever watch them hatch into pigeons?
I trust the fact that it will.
I choose chaos, and that pigeons aren't real.
Well, that poor one out in India or wherever the heck got arrested.
What was the sentence?
Just because they thought it was a spy. They thought it was a spy pigeon. I don't know what it was spying on and what information it was going to bring back to whomever they thought it was getting information for. But I lost it. I was like, I've never heard of a pigeon being arrested. I mean, I put into custody or anything like that. Apparently the police officer that was interviewed for all this said, look, I get it's a laughable thing, but we did have that one pigeon back in 2016 that was carrying,
rogue pigeon.
The prime minister threat from whoever gave it.
The pigeon didn't write it.
I know, but it was arrested for it anyway because it had the evidence.
Have you heard of the polar bear jail?
No.
So this is real. There's I forget exactly where. My assumption is somewhere in like Alaska or wherever.
Somewhere cold.
Well, I don't think Alaska has polar bears, but maybe they do. I don't know. Somewhere where the polar bears roam free. Polar bears are like one of the only, at least bears, that will actively hunt humans because of the nature of their like eating cycle and the necessity of them getting meals. So there's this polar bear jail because this specific town is near a polar bear population, and the polar bears will just go to town and try to eat people and try to like get them. So they'll put them in jail for
rightfully so
until they have to hibernate. Then they'll re-release them to the wild. But it's literally like they're in slammers. Like they have to be arrested.
Look. Polar bear jail, if that's the case, that sounds reasonable. Pigeon jail, I don't know how that looks. I don't know there was such a thing. What did you do with an arrested pigeon?
You could make an argument. I'm not saying that I'm right in this, okay? Everyone's allowed to have their own beliefs. And if you own a bird, I'm happy for you. I think they're brilliant creatures, and I'm not faulting you for doing that. My personal preference is I think like birds in a cage, that's like jail.
Okay, yeah, it is.
Because it's like...
It certainly is for birds that they're supposed to be able to...
There are absolutely some animals that need to be rehabbed, and then if they can't be reinstituted into the wild, that's the way that they need to live out the rest of their life. That's a little different. But I don't know, I just feel so bad sometimes. Like you go to a pet store or something, and it's a noble cause, and again, I'm not saying I'm right, but it's like... They're in prison.
I get where your heart is with that for sure. And but one thing I want to say, most birds that are involved with that are used to that. Like that's their life,
Yeah.
So it's not like you're hurting that bird because it may not be safe outside because it doesn't know any better.
Yeah.
So I'll give it that, but I do understand and completely, part of me agrees with what you're saying for sure.
Birds can be scary. You ever see that big ass bird that has like it's like a shoe bill or wherever it is? We're using my phone for the camera, else I'd show you a picture of it right now. But there's a friggin' type of bird that looks so demonic, and it has like a deep guttural. It kind of looks like a pelican. I think it's a pelican, the one that was in Finding Nemo that ate ate Nemo or ate. What's the dad's name in Nemo? Marlin?
Maybe.
God, that's pathetic.
Put that in the comments, folks, because
my God,
it's been a long time.
Anyway, so the shoebill's like that kind of, and I think it's a shoebill. It's freaking scary. Shout out Megan Peach. I know you love birds.
But yeah, so pigeons being arrested. Another bird thing I come across while looking this, I wasn't going to share this, but since we're on the topic of birds, I might as well. Apparently this zoo out in the United Kingdom, they've got 5 parrots, and they had one parrot that would swear all the time, and the other 4 were great. But now, because that one swore so much, and it's in a zoo, so it's public and everybody sees them and so on, they swear constantly, all 5 of them now. They just sit there and they just cuss and cuss and cuss at everybody in the zoo's like...
Because they don't want to be in the zoo.
Just swearing and swearing just because of that one parrot that was, always swore. So whoever the guy was that made the pigeon swear, you've got all the pigeons swearing in the UK and that Pacific Zoo now.
Did you hear? I think it was an orangutan. It was either an orangutan or a chimp, but it was in a zoo. And For the purpose of the story, I'm just going to say it's an orangutan. It might have been a chimp. But it had an enemy in a nearby enclosure that he was pissed off at it because its enemy had some ladies in its enclosure with it. So this orangutan figured out how to sneak out of his enclosure.
Go get the other one?
He couldn't get into the other ones, but he would stand above them and throw his poop at him. So they'd look at the cameras. It would be nighttime, and this other orangutan's just making his way over.
They're actually very intelligent.
They're brilliant. So they thought they couldn't figure out one. I don't know what type of security system you have that you can't figure out how an orangutan is escaping its enclosure. But they couldn't figure out how it was doing it. So they thought about it. They're like, okay, we'll give this orangutan some females so it doesn't feel jealous and it leaves the other one alone. Well, he broke out his honeys, and they all went to go make fun of this other orangutan, and they all threw their poop at him.
So they just added on to the trouble. They were just like, yep, and they were all like, now we're in this together.
Yeah.
Now I've got an entourage.
Can you imagine being this other, again, it's either a chimp or orangutan, and you're just sitting there at night waiting for them to show up because they do it every single day.
Bullies are going to be throwing their poop soon. Here they come. Oh my goodness gracious.
That'd be a horrible, horrible life. Oh, and you don't know how he's doing it. It's like, why can't I get up there?
Well, maybe they'll figure it out sometime, and the poop throwing will come to an end. But that's funny. That's funny.
You're getting a little bit of everything with these. I have a very random thought. We've been talking about birds a lot. Let's name some superlatives for birds. Let's go best dressed. What is the best dressed bird? There's one right answer.
A peacock?
Yes, that's the right answer.
Yeah,
peacocks are fly as hell.
Yeah, yes they are.
You ever seen
tails, man.
You ever seen Kung Fu Panda 2?
No.
Oh man.
I've never watched any of those.
That's a damn shame.
Yeah, I think that was a little before, after my young years.
Yeah. I was in 5th grade, I think, when the first Kung Fu Panda came out.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to watch it at 14, 15.
I would watch it right now. Anyways, he was the second villain in the movie. The second movie
Jack
villain.
Black, the panda in that.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I
And
like
Tigress is Angelina Jolie.
Jeez, it's been a long time since I've heard her name.
Yeah,
she's 90s kind of.
She's not doing much. Anyways, peacocks best dressed. It's not even close. I think an honorable mention for me is a blue jay or a cardinal.
Yes, cardinal was on top of me, on my mind too, but yes, a blue jay as well. Sure.
Blue jay. What? Can you imagine if a blue jay and a cardinal had offspring?
What would that color be? Green?
Oh God.
Yellow?
Well, I was thinking more just a conglomeration of the two.
Probably. I was just kind of.
You're actually using
Color.
smart. I did not take art.
Would that work? Is that how?
I don't
think that would work. Maybe it would.
So an embarrassing fact about myself is I didn't know that there were eggs from birds that were just eggs, and then there were fertilized eggs. I thought every egg could become a chicken.
No.
They just spawned.
It's just not exactly.
So you
I
need-
thought the same thing for a long time.
So you need a rooster to make the If you're younger, ask your parents about the cycle of life. Okay, so
he's getting it now, folks. He's getting it now.
most likely to succeed. Which bird would get most likely to succeed?
I'm going to go with an ostrich
Why an ostrich?
because it's massive and it could kick any other bird's ass.
You ever seen an ostrich egg?
I imagine they're huge.
Oh my God, they're like a delicacy because they're massive. I don't know if I'd give them. The ostriches are dicks.
Yeah, they are. They are kind of pricks.
They're jerks. They like put their head next to the ground because there used to be this thing about people thinking that ostriches would just stick their head in the earth, but they just put their head right next to it. I hate ostriches. I've never met one, but if I did, I'd punch it. No, I don't know. They remind me of a kangaroo.
Kangaroo videos. Anybody who knows Aussie Man reviews, he's
Punching the dog.
he's got some funny kangaroo because he's from Australia. He's got some funny kangaroo videos. He comments, and they just beat the heck out of each other. Just kind of the dinks, and they beat up people and random dogs, and they're a nuisance over in Australia.
And they're rugged.
Yes, they are. Some of them are ripped.
I feel like Kangaroo Jack kind of gave some leeway to the kangaroo population for being jerks, but
I actually come across an Aussie Man review video on Facebook today. He was involving kangaroos, and it jumped up on a fence and then jumped on somebody's top of their roof on their house.
Did you know that there's a type? Did you know there's a type of kangaroo in Australia that can jump higher than the average house?
This must have been that one.
Houses don't jump very high, so that's.
All right, you got me there. All right. I thought
I had that one cooked up.
Oh, yeah. I walked right into that one, yeah.
Oh. Did you see, I assume it was at Yosemite, but did you see the video of the gentleman, and I hope that he's doing okay, that got leveled by a bison?
No, I guess not.
Oh my God. So I won't watch it because I don't like even the old AFV videos. If somebody's getting hurt, that's not my type of funny. I don't like that. And I'm not saying this situation's funny, but I just don't like watching those videos, which is ironic because I love the UFC. But anyways.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. So this guy, I assume, because it kind of looked like it was in a campground setting, I assume the bison kind of wandered into them. I don't think they intentionally got too close. Again, I haven't watched or read too much on it, but there was an elderly gentleman that was recording with his phone, and it looked like his grandson or someone was right beside him, and this bison just decided it was this guy's time and made a beeline for him, and this guy goes 10 feet in the air. Like, insane. These we look at them on pictures and, the internet, and it doesn't fully set in how massive these animals are.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, it's crazy. So I hope that guy's doing okay. That was a crazy story.
That's too bad. I haven't seen that. So, anyway, we've been talking about birds and animals and stuff here for a little bit. I did just bring up the UFC stuff, and I want to bring up the event itself was pretty good. The first few matches, I'm not good remembering names because I'm not a huge UFC fan. I don't know every single fighter there is. But Conor McGregor's fight, man, that was so sad.
Yeah.
The hype of it all, I don't think it was, 10 seconds into the fight, and he blew his knee out.
Yeah, so I feel so bad for Conor.
Yeah, I'm sure he felt so embarrassed, man.
There's a lot of stuff outside of fighting. For the purpose of this conversation, I'm just talking about as an athlete, and I'm keeping it in a bubble, and I'm just talking about UFC, Conor McGregor, this fight, not any of the outside of the ring stuff. I feel for him because if you go through a training camp, if you step inside that octagon, you're putting your life on the line, and you're doing it for a reason. Like, whatever someone's motivation is, that's a huge risk to be making. And to have it end like that, I don't think he was going to win that fight. I don't make bets. I don't gamble. But if I was going to be betting, I was shocked how many people were putting their chips on Conor. Like, spent 5 years outside of the octagon. A lot of, again, I'm not getting into it because I don't want to go into that type of stuff. But a lot of stuff outside the octagon. I don't think he would have won that fight if he didn't blow out his knee. But the fact he did, that I feel for him because he's probably never going to come back.
Not at this point. Why would he?
He's 35.
He says he's going to, but we'll see. He's got a road ahead of him to do so again. And with the time that he had spent out of it, for 5 years, and to have that happen in 10 seconds with his type of fighting style, I don't know. I think he's, like you said, I think he's done too. But it was too bad because I kind of wanted to see what he had. I was like, I wasn't so sure if he was going to lose. I kind of wanted to see what he had, and he just, didn't last more than a minute.
I don't know what my Mount Rushmore of sports moments is because there's too many. But, automatic in the conversation for me always is Tiger Woods coming back and winning the Masters after all those years away. And Conor McGregor knocking out Jose Aldo in the first 15 seconds. That was the peak of the UFC for me. There's been a lot of amazing moments, a lot of amazing fighters, but you take all the things Conor McGregor was doing and then all of the hype and the fact that Jose Aldo was a literal, killer. You could not beat him. And Conor just knocks him out in one punch. One of the craziest things I've ever seen. And then, obviously, Conor McGregor became Conor McGregor, but
Yeah.
I feel like we've kind of seen the end of that.
I think we have to, and it's too bad. If he does feel like coming back, trying again some other time, kudos to him, but I think he's got a long road ahead of him for that.
Yeah. But I love the UFC. I think the UFC is kind of in a weird space right now. There's not a lot. I mean, there are a lot of young, super talented people. But if you talk about marketable, you're kind of at the passing of the baton here because you've got guys like John Jones, Daniel Cormier, he's gone, been gone. But Connor, he's gone. Khabib, he's gone. I mean, you're running out of names that you really were hanging your hat on kind of all around the same time. Don't get me wrong, especially for people that are even more involved in it than I am. There's a lot of names that bring a lot of attention, but it's just not quite what it was, and it shouldn't be. It's always going to be evolving. It's always going to be changing. Sports always is, but it's interesting. It's like Patty the Batty, Sugar Sean, and then like I really don't know where the marketing is right now.
That Patty guy you mentioned, I know that name, but there's some of these I don't know because I'm not an avid UFC fighter. I like watching the big events just because I just like watching that stuff. I always have, but I don't know a lot of the names. The names I see in the event are what I know, and then I move on, kind of forget them if they're not big names. So yeah, just wanted to kind of throw our opinion out about that. And another thing I want to talk about with sports is the Patriots training camp. I think starts next week.
Thank God.
And that means we are so dang close to football.
I can't tell you how much, especially as an adult, football has just taken over everything for sports for me. Yeah. I love basketball. Growing up was one of my favorite things. I mean, it kind of had its ebbs and flows, but watching it was not a question. Now it is completely flipped. The NFL, college football. I would go, my pecking order would be NFL, college football. I might even go MLB right now over basketball, the way it's at. Yeah.
I'm gonna mention that too. I'm a little disappointed with the direction the NBA is going. I think it's nothing but a 3-point shootout. There's no defense anymore. The playoffs get a little bit more intense. What in the world is mid-season championship in mid-season? That is,
they're doing too much.
Way too much.
And the stuff they're doing, it isn't I mean, so I'm saying this, right? And I would consider myself, at least at a point, a pretty committed fan. But the reality is, too, like I can say all this, they're not going to change anything because the game's more global than it's ever been. Yes, and that's a good thing. Like, we're getting stars from all over the world. So they had record-breaking viewership this year. But it's because it's more global than it's ever been. And that means they're not going to change what they're doing. And they're going to keep making a ton of money. And I don't want them to not be successful. But at the same time, like, what we've done with the All-Star game, what we've done in even just general enjoyment of the game, like free agency's dead. Free agency's not a thing anymore. We've got teams out here that are being unethical. I'll get into that a different time. But if you ever want to look up what's a problem with the NBA, look at the Gary Trent Jr. contract. Gary Trent Jr., for the TLDR, too long didn't read version of this story, is he was ass last year. Ass. He sucked. The year before, he was pretty good. Well, the year before, he signed a minimum level contract to stay with the Milwaukee Bucks because, spoiler alert, that's what the Bucks needed to have happen so they could keep their roster together and pay some other guys. Suddenly, he has a horrible season and he gets a 4-year, $64 million deal.
Holy.
What that means, in all likelihood, and this is all just guesswork and unsubstantiated, I know nothing, and these are just guesses, is that maybe a little conversation happened last offseason that you take this deal, we'll help you out next season. And that's illegal. You can't do that. And just I'm just mad at basketball right now.
Yeah, I am too. I am disappointed in it. Jaylen Brown, why the Celtics did what they did with him.
KG.
Yeah.
Rondo. Back when it was good.
Yeah, that was when we really liked it, enjoyed it. Why they sent him away to the Sixers for older Paul George just boggled my mind. And yeah, we got a couple draft picks out of it, but
It's the worst thing Brad Stevens has done.
Yeah.
With period. Brad Stevens has been an amazing. He was a great coach. He's been an awesome GM. He brought a championship to Boston, made a lot of really smart moves, and I don't want to take that away. This was the biggest fumble I have seen of a superstar that was homegrown Celtics. And you didn't need to trade him. You had him for 3 years. And what are you doing? Like, what is the direction? You just don't want to have him on the books? Well, what are you doing to be better?
Exactly.
Nothing.
I mean, Paul George was a great player. I think he was
paying him $53 million this year.
Paul George.
So he's going to be on the books.
Yeah.
Brandon, Alan, I know you love Paul George, but
hey, look, I don't disrespect. I think he was a hell of a basketball player 10 years ago.
it ain't 2013 no more.
10 years ago. But he's got to be pushing. He's 40 by now, I would think. He's got to be in his mid-30s.
Yeah,
anyway.
And I'm not trying to say that Paul George is a scrub because he's going to have some good moments this year.
He's obviously a good basketball
He ain't
player.
Jaylen Brown.
No.
And the other thing is, you could have got so many pieces for Jaylen Brown, and you traded him to an in-division rival who bounced you in the playoffs this year. And
Here's one of our best players, guys.
You gave them the best player on your roster that year that you got bounced. The Sixers might win the finals. Embiid's made out of paper mache and prayer, but
they've got Jaylen Brown now.
VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey. I mean, I hate basketball right now. I don't hate, but it's too strong a word. But I still get excited about this stuff. That's crazy.
So off the Jaylen topic, why did they take out the dunk contest?
I think they still have it. I think what they're did they take it out completely from the All-Star?
That's what I had heard, and I didn't watch the All-Star game, so I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
So I think it was still there. This year, I guess I don't know, because again, I'm not watching it right now, really. But what they've been doing in recent years is they've been bringing in G League guys, and G League guys have been playing in the All-Star game, by the way, under the new format. It's crazy. The G League is the development league for the NBA. It's where really, really good players play because the best players in the world play in the National Basketball Association. Okay, so it's not like if you're in the G League, you're bad. It's just you're not quite that level or you're developing to get to that level. So these guys aren't awful players, but they're taking guys like that in reality, they're playing no NBA minutes, but they can dunk, and they're having them go to the dunk contest. Like Max McClung is a dunk contest legend, but he's played not even a full season in the NBA, and he's winning the dunk contest 3 years in a row. I think
Maybe that's why
LeBron.
they took it away.
I think LeBron killed the dunk contest.
How so?
He didn't do it. Think about all-time legends:
Yeah,
Dominique Wilkins,
Michael Jordan,
Dr. J, Kobe, some all-time legends.
He never did it.
He never did it, and I think in part it was kind of to protect and take a break, and if he doesn't win it, then it's just. If he doesn't win it, it's just a knock on his legacy. But I'll tell you what we need. We need young stars. Cooper Flagg.
I was about to say Coop.
Cooper Flagg, Caleb Wilson. Have you seen Caleb Wilson?
No, probably, but I can't put a face on it.
Michaela married into a Duke family, so down go the Tar Heels. But Caleb Wilson was from UNC, and I don't think he's a great player. I think he could be a great player, but he's not there yet. But that guy can dunk. And watching him in Summer League's better than regular season, by the way, just for the record.
Because those guys are trying to prove a point.
Yeah.
They're trying to make a team. That's probably a lot more competitive.
And sometimes there's rookies that are really, really good, and then there's Summer League veterans that just aren't very good. So the disparity in skill is so ridiculous that you get some insane highlights in Summer League. Caleb Wilson's an example of that.
Well, yeah, so off the NBA topic, really am disappointed with the direction it's gone in. But I will say it is cool to see Cooper Flagg playing as a Dallas Maverick. That's cool. He did, obviously, his Rookie of the Year. So that, kudos, man. It's nice seeing somebody local that Zachary actually has an interview with back in 2020.
Yeah, it was funny.
Had to wear masks.
Yeah, so I did that with Eastern Maine Sports, and it was funny because Coop's out there dominating, being the awesome player he is. He's a freshman in high school at that point, and being a freshman in high school, he's 14, 15 years old, but he's still 6'7" at this point. I think he's grown since then, obviously, but he was huge. I mean, it's Maine, so you don't see kids like that. And he was the player of the game, so he comes up after to do his interview, and he starts talking, and he's very well spoken, but he's a 14-year-old kid. Like, at that point, I don't know how old I was. It would have been 6 years ago, so I would have been 22, and I was like, "Oh, you're still allowed to be a kid." Like, very well spoken, like I said, but it was kind of eye opening. But I'm so proud of him. He's going to do great things in the NBA. He's going to do great things for the state of Maine. I have no doubt. He's doing another camp in Maine. Him and his brother Ace.
Cool.
So they're going to be doing that at the University of Maine. That's currently where Ace plays. So Ace is Cooper's twin, in case you didn't know. And Ace has his own pedigree and his own path that he's paving, and he's going to do some great stuff in his own right. But yeah, just really, really cool to see what Coop's been able to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just wanted to take a second and say that before we moved on.
I totally derailed the NFL conversation by my upsetness of the NBA.
No, it's okay. I think I kind of mentioned it as well. We kind of went on a tangent there, which we should have.
What's your Super Bowl prediction?
Well, I think the Rams for the NFC
Yep.
have a hell of a chance.
Aaron Darnold's been working out.
I heard. And Myles Garrett, Browns.
At the same time, they got a good player.
Oh,
I'm a jerk.
is that guy they got from the Rams all right?
Yeah, that I forget his name. I'm sorry. He's an edge rusher. He's a stud. He's really
And
good.
he's younger than Myles, too.
Yeah, but he's not Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett all
He
time
was, he was the Defensive Player of the Year last year again.
broke the single season sack record.
Yeah. So
Take that, Michael Strahan. Jerk.
type giant for me. Anyway, how was I going with this? We were talking. Super Bowl prediction.
Yeah.
So Rams. Obviously, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say is the Patriots, but I don't know because we did have an easy schedule for the people that have made sure I'm aware of that last year. Yes, we did play some teams that are as good as the teams that we're going to be playing this year. So I want to see what we're doing, but I'm gonna just say it. I'm gonna go with the Rams and the Patriots game Super Bowl number 3.
I would love to see the Patriots get back there. I think that last year we were a minimum a year ahead. I think A.J. Brown could get us over the hump. I think A.J. Brown's a stud.
I think he's gonna just go off because
People got to stay healthy, though.
yeah.
I'm excited to see what Trayvon does in year 2. I think that the Patriots are best when they have a run game. Ramondre Stevenson's a beast.
Yeah, he did well last year.
Offensive line. I mean, I forget that tackle that we drafted. I forget his name off the top of my head.
Campbell.
Well, Will Campbell was there last year playing tackle. Haven't heard if he's going to stay at tackle. They drafted a guy this year. Because Will Campbell, his dropbacks are way too in the lap of the quarterback, but he does it, and I think Will's a stud. I think Will Campbell's a great NFL offensive lineman. I don't know if he's a tackle. I think he's a guard. I think he can move. I think he can do a lot of really good things. But I think the offensive line's the question mark for me. I would love it to be the Patriots. I don't want to put that energy out there as a Patriots fan that it won't be. But if I'm being unbiased, but also acknowledging a little bit of some bias here, I think Josh Allen is too great of an all-time player for them to never get it done. And I think that they're going to make a trip to the Super Bowl. I think new stadium, new energy. Patrick Mahomes is going to start the year coming off of a torn ACL. I don't think the Chiefs are all that. I don't think that they're what they were. I think that the Patriots are going to have a tougher time this year, like you said. So I think that puts the Bills in a better position to win the division. The Jets suck. Miami sucks. So the division's there for the taking. And if the Bills can do that, I don't think the Chiefs are going to be what they were. You're just really competing for the Ravens for that top seed in the AFC. And then the Ravens weren't really that good last year either. Lamar has to have a big bounce back year. But I think Bills, Rams, and I think the Rams win. I think if Aaron Donald comes back, I will say it without a shadow of a doubt, and we might see one of the best teams of all time. Puka Nacua,
Well could.
Cooper Kupp. No, is Cooper Kupp gone?
No, he's gone.
He's gone. Who's their other guy? They have a really they have another. Maybe it's just Puka, and I'm thinking of Vlad McConkey, and I think he plays for the Chargers.
Maybe
I think I'm thinking of Vlad McConkey, and he's for the Chargers. Anyways, point is, all-time great team is what we could be witnessing if Aaron Donald comes back.
Which I will always think the 2007 Patriots with our undefeated regular season, that was probably one of the best teams of all time. But just that's why I hate the Giants so much, man. Oh my God.
But it's also one of the most beautiful things about football because, well, I guess it's not just football because if you don't win it all, it really doesn't matter. Because like the Warriors had one of the best teams of all time. They were like 72-10 or something.
Yes, they were.
And they lose in the finals.
Right?
Yeah, LeBron, 2018. Yeah. Like the Patriots, one of the best teams of all time, but not the best team of all time because you didn't win it all.
Didn't win that one game because of Eli Manning getting out of that sack and just
David Tyree.
How he caught that helmet catch.
That was my first genuine heartbreak as a human being.
Oh, that was awful. He cried.
Sobbed. I was young. This 2007.
He was not even 10 years old, but
I didn't cry when they lost the second time. I was just depressed.
Yeah, we were sad. God dang it, Eli Manning.
But you know what? That made beating the Falcons, the Seahawks, the Rams, and winning all those Super Bowls, it made it that much sweeter.
Oh, it did. And, obviously, Malcolm Butler picking off that, I don't know why
Russell Wilson.
They didn't hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch.
Divine intervention.
I don't know. But whatever. It worked out for us. Malcolm Butler, that was great, man. And Julian's catch in the Falcons game.
Yep.
James White just going off. I mean, he
Dante Hightower.
So yeah, Dante Hightower. I mean, Falcons fans. I was sitting with my buddies, Bryce and T-Sauls, at our apartment here down in Bangor and Brewer. And they were just pile driving me into the ground because we were getting our butts handed to us by the Falcons.
28-3.
Yep. And they were and they don't like the Patriots, not Patriots fans. And I was like, I felt awful. And then all of a sudden, and they went from pounding me into the ground to friggin', oh, ha, that's right. Oh, that was so much fun.
I don't know what it's like to be watching this podcast and, maybe you're a Detroit Lions fan, although I like the Lions, or maybe you're another franchise that's never had success. I don't know what that's like. So I'm going to be a dink about it for the rest of my life because I've witnessed the greatest player of all time win more Super Bowls than any franchise in the NFL.
Did you, going off football, but we're going to talk about Tom here. Did you see? Him and Logan Paul have been in a feud. I hate them. Did he slapped him across the face?
Well, Tom Brady can't slap anybody.
I was like,
did you see the slap?
Is this court? Was it planned? You think?
Oh, it's 100% planned. They've been doing this for a while.
WWE.
Yes,
right now?
Yes, we are. I'm breaking kayfabe, or whatever the hell it's called. But did you see the slap?
Yeah, it was bad.
First of all, Tom, if you're gonna fake slap somebody, don't go to the ear. The ear is like, he was like, stiff arm, bang. You can't even see my arm, but it's like, bang. It wasn't even across the face. He just went to the ear.
Surprised Logan even knew he hit him, but.
I was like, Tom.
Yeah, I was like,
look more athletic.
What are we doing right now? Yeah, I know they've been having this thing going back and forth, and they've been, for like fanatics or something like that, they've been doing this with, and.
Yeah.
I was like,
maybe Brady's getting in the ring. Maybe he is.
Don't do that.
Maybe
I know
he
you're
is.
never going to see this, but don't do that.
If you watch this and Tom and Logan Paul have had a fight, like that would never be on my bingo card. But it is 2026.
It's probably, Logan Paul, I'm sure, loves it because it's probably doing nothing but building popularity for him. But
they talk trash. So there was this flag football competition, and Brady was going against Logan Paul.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
So why? I'm sitting here talking about Tom Brady and Logan Paul in the same conversation. Why?
This is what we've come to in this day and age.
The internet
Social
is
media
weird.
And everything, it's changed things, man. It's mixing all these people together that you wouldn't think would be together, and it's just, how it is now.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we get to be together.
I am too.
Coming up on an hour of
we
this.
are. I was gonna say about an hour is what we should probably do every time. That's what it sounds good anyway. But this has been fun, bud, doing this again. We'll get better with this, folks, as we go. We'll plan things better. You know, I just texted him like a couple days ago. I think the day I posted my TikTok video about redoing this again. So we really haven't spent a significant amount of time planning and getting things together. We just go off a whim and do it. And it's easy to talk to each other. And
Poppy's ready for us to be done.
Poppy's letting us know it's time to wrap things up. But I really hope you guys enjoy this, Zach. I've enjoyed doing this with you, bud.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So, catch you guys next time, and see ya.